She was a loving mother, a devoted wife, and at 30 years old, she thought she knew exactly who she was. But one letter in the mail changed everything. It revealed a secret buried for decades, a secret that would send her life spiraling into lies, betrayal, and a search for the truth that someone powerful never wanted her to uncover. Before we dig deep into this shocking story, kindly hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you never miss real stories that reveal the darkest truths and biggest betrayals. It was supposed to be an ordinary day. A stack of mail sat on the kitchen counter, bills and catalogs waiting to be opened. But tucked inside was a large envelope addressed to Sarah, sealed with the county's Department of Records stamp. Inside, a single line caught her eye. "This is to confirm your adoption was finalized." On June 14, 1995, her breath caught in her throat. Adoption? At 30 years old, Sarah, mother of two, wife, nurse, daughter, felt her entire life collapse at that moment. Sarah confronted her parents that night, letter in hand, voice trembling. At first they denied it. But when she pressed harder, her mother broke into tears and whispered, "We wanted to tell you, but we were afraid you'd never forgive us." Her father stayed silent, eyes fixed on the floor. The truth was out. Sarah was adopted, and they had hidden it for 3 decades. The next few weeks were a blur. Every childhood memory. She replayed her dark hair that didn't match her parents' blonde hair, the unexplained hospital visits. The neighbor's strange look suddenly made sense. Determined to uncover her origins, she requested her full adoption records. But when they arrived, entire sections were blacked out. The names of her birth parents were redacted, replaced with confidential.
Why? What were they hiding?
One night, while searching through her adoptive mother's attic, Sarah found a box she had never seen before. Inside, baby clothes, a faded hospital bracelet, and an old photograph of a young woman holding an infant. On the back of the photo, in hurried handwriting, were the words, "Forgive me. They won't let me keep you." The more Sarah searched, the stranger things became. A man began calling her, warning her to stop digging. Documents went missing from her mailbox. Even her adoptive father grew defensive, refusing to discuss anything further. Her husband begged her to let it go, fearing for her safety, but Sarah couldn't. She had 2 children of her own. Now how could she look them in the eye if she never uncovered her own truth? Finally, the private investigator traced a lead to a woman living 3 towns away. Nervous, Sarah agreed to meet. When the woman opened the door, Sarah froze. She was looking into her own face, aged by decades. "Sarah?" the woman whispered, tears spilling down her cheeks. It was her biological mother. Over coffee, the pieces fell into place. Her mother had been a young nursing student who became pregnant under complicated and dangerous circumstances. The father, a man in a position of power, had threatened her, forcing her to give up the baby. The adoption was arranged quietly, sealed by the court. "I never stopped looking for you," her mother sobbed. "But they told me you were gone." Sarah finally had the answers she craved, but the truth came at a cost. Her adoptive parents felt betrayed. Her marriage strained under the weight of her obsession, and her own sense of identity shattered. But she also gained something she never expected, a second chance at family. Just when Sarah thought she had closure, strange things began happening again. A car followed her late at night. An envelope with no return address appeared in her mailbox, containing only a single newspaper clipping. "Local official resigns amid scandal, 1995. The name in the article? The same man her birth mother claimed was her biological father. When Sarah confronted her adoptive parents with this revelation, her mother broke down completely. "We made a deal to protect you," she confessed. "Your father knew things that could ruin lives. We weren't supposed to tell you." Her adoptive father, however, grew cold and distant. For the first time, Sarah began to suspect that even he had been part of the cover-up. Sarah demanded her full adoption file from the county again, but this time she received a warning call first. "Some truths aren't meant to be uncovered," the voice said before hanging up. Ignoring the threat, Sarah pressed harder. Eventually, a sympathetic clerk slipped her an unsealed document. It revealed something shocking. Her birth mother had signed to keep her, but her parental rights were terminated in court without her knowledge. Someone had forged her consent. DNA testing confirmed what Sarah feared. The powerful man in the 1995 scandal was her biological father. He had gone to great lengths to erase any trace of her existence, pulling strings in the legal system, silencing those who questioned it, and ensuring her adoption went through in secrecy. Sarah's birth mother wasn't just a victim of circumstance. She had been robbed of her child. Now Sarah faced an impossible choice. Should she go public, exposing her father and risking her family's safety? Or should she quietly embrace her new bond with her biological mother, keeping the past buried where powerful men wanted it to stay? Her adoptive parents begged her to stay silent. Her husband worried the scandal would destroy them, but her birth mother held her hands tightly and said, "You deserve to know the whole truth, no matter the cost." Sarah's search took an even darker turn when her birth mother handed her a sealed letter. It had been given to her years ago by a nurse who felt guilty about what happened in 1995. The letter was from the judge who finalized Sarah's adoption. He had written it shortly before his mysterious death. The letter suggested he was pressured into signing off on illegal paperwork by a man with influence and a reputation to protect. That man's initials? The same as Sarah's biological father. Sarah's obsession began to consume her life. Her husband, Mark, felt shut out. "What about us? What about the kids?" he pleaded. But Sarah couldn't stop. Every clue was like gasoline on a fire she couldn't extinguish. Mark gave her an ultimatum. Either the past or the family we're building now. For the first time, Sarah questioned whether the truth was worth everything she was losing in the present. Just when she felt most isolated, Sarah received an anonymous message. "You're looking in the wrong places. Meet me tomorrow at the library." There she met an older woman, her biological father's former secretary. The woman revealed she had kept files, evidence of forged documents and sealed records. "I've waited years for someone brave enough to dig," she whispered. Sarah suddenly had proof that her adoption was part of a calculated scheme. But the closer she got to exposing the truth, the more dangerous it became. One night, Sarah's car tires were slashed. Another night, her children's school received a threatening call. The message was clear: stop searching or pay the price. Her husband begged her to go to the police, but Sarah knew corruption ran deep. Who could she even trust? With the files in her possession, Sarah now held the power to bring down her biological father and expose the system that betrayed her birth mother. But doing so meant putting her family and maybe even her life at risk. Would she bury the truth forever to protect those she loved? Or risk everything to finally reveal the secret that had defined her life? For Sarah, the next step would decide not just her future, but the future of her children. And this time, there was no turning back. If you were Sarah, would you expose the truth no matter the cost, or protect your family by staying silent? Do you believe some secrets are better left buried? Or does the truth always deserve to come out? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss real stories that reveal the darkest truths and biggest betrayals.